Welcome. A very warm welcome to all of you for joining us here. We have a very lovely evening planned for you tonight, and it is my honor to welcome and introduce our board member, Sarah Wilson.
Thank you so much, Sam. Hi, everybody. How are you? I am so excited to be here. I don't know about you. There are a lot of nonprofit events every year, and this is actually just one of my favorite. It is so much fun. We have so much fun in store this evening, and I just am so happy to be here with you. On behalf of the board of directors, I'd like to extend our appreciation to each of you for being here. I know it's a very busy time of the year, so thank you for being here. We are just so happy to see all of you. Now, this evening, we are honored to gather with you to raise awareness about the amazing work that is happening locally to build peace, and also to raise awareness and important support for the mission of the WDRC. That's why we're here. We're here to have a good time. We're also here to raise awareness and raise support, so thank you. For 33 years, our center has embodied the vision for Whatcom County to be a community in which people approach conflict in creative and healthy ways. I love that line, creative and healthy. Isn't that amazing? To approach conflict in creative and healthy ways. Now, this year, our services have reached thousands of our fellow neighbors, our friends, our families, and our colleagues with tools and solutions to build peace in our community. You'll hear more about our programs and the impact that these programs have had tonight. There's a couple of tearjerker moments, so get ready. But first, I want to extend some appreciation to the different folks and organizations that have helped make this really special evening possible. So first and foremost, I'd like to honor our board and advisory board members and thank them for their wonderful leadership. Will you please stand if you're a member of our board or advisory board? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsors this evening. We have so many generous sponsors. Will you please hold your applause until the end? Thank you to our presenting sponsor, People's Bank, our platinum sponsor, Puget Sound Energy, our gold sponsors, Brett McCandless Brown and Connor, and Saratoga Commercial Real Estate, our silent auction sponsor, Banner Bank, our video sponsor, Hand Crank Films, and our poetry contest sponsor, Village Books. To every single sponsor and contributor who made this event possible, thank you so much. There's a complete list in your programs. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. We would also like to give a special thanks to 4 Points by Sheraton for hosting us, the ladies of Lindsay providing the beautiful music we heard as we were coming in. Yes, the Whatcom Sound for their technical support this evening. Thanks for making me sound good, fellas. Appreciate it. BTV and the City of Bellingham for filming our event this evening. Satva Photo for taking photographs. Flower Lab Floral and Design Studio for providing and arranging all of tonight's beautiful florals. The tables look so good. To all of the businesses that have donated to our silent auction and dessert dash, please support them. We are so grateful for them. And a special thank you to our amazing volunteers and our staff who have helped put this event together this evening. Thank you so much. And of course, we would like to extend the most heartfelt gratitude and congratulations to each of our incredible Peace Builder awardees and youth peace poets who we are celebrating this evening. Please take a moment during dinner to look in your program and read more about each one of them, and join us in appreciation of their work and their words that we'll hear later tonight. Let's do a round of applause before they come. Thank you. And now, I would love your attention as I introduce one of my favorite people. This is Moonwater, our executive director, who will help us get our evening started. Moonwater.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, my friends. It feels really good to be here with you all tonight. So thank you all for joining me this evening. Faces I haven't seen in quite some time. It's really already filling my heart that you're here. And thank you, Sarah, for all your words, and Sam for getting us started. This really is a special evening. It's one that I know some of you have been here before. For some of you, this might be your first evening. I look forward to this evening year after year. I am curious in this moment, maybe by show of hands, for how many folks is this your first time coming to this event? Fantastic. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're really glad that you're here. This is actually, I think that this is my 21st Peace Builder Awards. And it really does continue to fill my heart and inspire me as we come together to focus on such an important, and I think at times it might feel a bit elusive, goal of building peace in our homes and schools and workplaces and community at large. And this feels like a particularly poignant moment in time to come together to talk about peace. And regardless of your worldview or your political or personal beliefs, we are collectively experiencing a flood of information right now, a flood of opinions, a flood of uncertainty. And in all honesty, I think my mind and my heart have been jolted pretty regularly by what I would call a tsunami of acts of violence and harm, injustice, internationally, nationally, here in our county, locally. And much of what's happening for me feels like what I feel like when I'm in this high intensity kind of state of, at times, insurmountable feeling conflict, right? Just constant state of intensity and stress. And I think it's easy, and I might be doing a little bit of projection here, so just bear with me. But for me, it's easy to get overwhelmed, and perhaps you feel that way too at times. And I think it feels easy to lose my footing. And so this idea of staying centered and staying present and taking care of ourselves and taking care of one another, to me, that's our lifeline. It's our individual lifeline. That's our community lifeline. And so in the midst of what I have felt to be challenging times, I've been very intentionally trying to focus on more concrete and actionable steps that I personally can take to positively influence peace-building efforts. I have to offer a counterbalance of sorts. Now, fortunately, I happen to have a job that enables me to live and breathe that counterbalance every single day. And so in a moment of reflection a couple of weeks ago, I kind of put on my mediator hat, and one of the things we do as mediators sometimes is we pause to make observations. And so I tried to do that for myself, and I tried to capture a couple. And I asked myself, if I could, just for a few moments' time, clear my mind and just listen to my heart, what do I know to be true? And what came up for me was that in this moment, we, the global we, are struggling to find pathways forward through conflict that elevate and center our shared humanity. And this struggle, I've observed, manifests itself in our places of work and in our schools and in our local government and in our homes. And it shows up when we stop listening to perspectives that differ from our own. It shows up when we choose violence or we harm one another. It shows up when we shun and turn away from someone who sees the world differently. And these struggles tear at the threads that bind us together. And in this way, what I've observed, our shared tapestry, our community tapestry, can weaken. Now, what I've also observed, and what I know to be true, is that just as fast as one thread is broken, 3 new threads are sewn. Peace builders all throughout our community are weaving the most beautiful of tapestries. Day in and day out, hosting community gatherings, advocating for inclusion, collaborating to leverage resources, and listening and caring. And we're doing that at the Dispute Resolution Center as well. And what I've come to recognize over the 2 decades that I've had the honor of leading the center is that the DRC is a community anchor. We have deep and stabilizing roots that have been growing for over 33 years now. And we have been steadfast in our provision of impartial services at a time at which almost everything feels politicized. We have not wavered in our commitment to uphold our values while simultaneously ensuring accessibility and a sense of welcoming for everyone. Our team of now 25 staff, with the support of over 50 volunteers and contractors, mediators, are the listening ears when someone calls. We are the process keepers to bring people together in safe and brave places to have the most difficult of conversations. And we are the conveners of learning spaces for our children and our peers as we explore shared needs, express our values, and find common ground and resolution amid polarity and division. And just to give you a bit of a scope and a sense of our services, in case some of you are more new or newly getting introduced to the DRC, we reached over 8,000 of your friends and neighbors last year. And in the first 3 quarters of this year alone, that number has already grown to 9,000. Our supervised visitation program has grown substantially over the last year, almost 40% more visits at this same point last year. That's close to 900 hours of time that kids and parents have been able to spend together because of our program. Our family mediation program has opened more than 200 cases since January and is on a trajectory to open 300 by the end of this year. And in the past 9 months, we have trained over 2,000 people in conflict resolution skills. And this vital work at the DRC is an integral component of this tapestry of peace. And each of you are as well. And I know that you have choice about what you listen to, who you listen to, and where you show up, and what you choose to support. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here tonight. Peace building is collective work, and we need each and every one of you. So thank you for joining with us. So in the spirit of collective work, these awards tonight are a deliberate way for us at the Dispute Resolution Center to amplify the creative and powerful mosaic of peace-building efforts unfolding all throughout Whatcom County. And each of the award recipients, in their own manner, are enacting our shared values and addressing a unique aspect of building peace, creating connections, fostering inclusivity, meeting basic needs, cultivating kindness, and humanizing one another. We need more of that, right? Our award recipients tonight are inspiring us to see that peace is possible, peace is accessible, and peace is our shared responsibility. Also inspiring us this evening, as Sarah shared, are our young peace poets. And so with support from Village Books, we've invited students in K through 12 to submit poems about peace or aspects of conflict resolution or connection. And 6 students of varying grade levels were selected tonight, and we're going to get to hear their poems throughout the evening. But first, we do get to begin with our Peace Builder Awards. And our committee was incredibly moved this year by the amount and scope of nominations that were submitted. And they still, though, were tasked with a difficult decision-making process to identify 7 outstanding award recipients. And so we'll get to hear from them shortly. And we know that you'll be just as inspired as we were by each of them. And tonight's an opportunity to learn more about them and to stay connected to them and their work beyond this evening. So Sarah, it's my pleasure to invite you back up to help us introduce our award recipients. Thank you again, everyone, for being here.
Thank you, Moonwater. Thank you. All right. As you're enjoying your dinner, are you ready to start welcoming our awardees? Okay, good. Me too. Let's do it. Please direct your attention to the video screens as we learn about our first Peace Builder awardee of the night, Bellingham TheatreWorks.
My name is Mark Kuntz. I'm the artistic director of Bellingham TheatreWorks, and I recently retired from Western Washington University in the theater department.
My name's Steve Lyons. I'm one of the co-founders of Bellingham TheatreWorks, founded in 2014.
I love this community, and one of the reasons we love it is because it's such a vibrant arts community. The arts have a passion about enforcing change and try to encouraging change.
Mark and I wanted to create a theater that addressed needs in Bellingham that were not being addressed by other theaters. And in particular, we wanted to tell stories of the Pacific Northwest from Pacific Northwest playwrights.
We're not the theater that does a few comedies in the summer and a musical, and we want to engage in conversations, and we think that our community is interested in those conversations. Our very first year, I remember going to Gowanus and standing in front of them and telling them what Fairhaven Summer Repertory Theater was going to be like. And I told them the theme is death and dying. We partnered with Peace Health and the Palliative Care Institute, and we engaged the community in death and dying. And we sold a ton of tickets. It was super popular. And that told us that this is the kind of thing that Bellingham wants. We do organized conversations. We're post-show discussions where we bring in community partners. We usually have a guest moderator who has expert in whatever that field is that we're talking about at that time. It becomes a time for the community to engage in how this story has influenced their thoughts about their own story. And that's one of the most rewarding things about being an artist, is what we know that we've made real connections and people are going home and they're thinking about it.
We've performed at like kind of a nightclub space. We've performed at a shoe store. We've performed at a brewery. But we don't necessarily want to do those things. It would be great to have a civic center in Bellingham and have a space that is affordable and usable by the community.
What Peace Building means to me is getting together as a community and having conversations, sharing our stories. And when we share our stories, we start to recognize ourselves in each other, and then we start to agree.
Telling each other's stories and each other's truths. If a script tells the truth, no matter how painful that truth might be, I think that it's achieved something.
Congratulations, Bellingham TheatreWorks.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Bellingham TheatreWorks and the almost 1,000 artists and community members who have worked with us since the beginning of our organization, we would really like to thank the Dispute Resolution Center for this honor. We just think it's wonderful. I really believe in how conversation is healing. And Pam and I have a rule when we go to the theater or we go to see a movie, that is we can't talk about it until we get in the car. So, and it's fun because there's this quietness when we're walking to the car, the doors close, and then blah, 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 right? And I don't know about you, but I've never seen a movie or gone to a play that didn't have conflict. And that's what happens. We get to go consume. We're so interested in other people's conflicts. And then we want to watch those things. And then we get to have that somehow influence our own lives. And as a storyteller, I think that's why I find that so important. And while my wife and I's marriage relationship is perfect, We have gone to some stories where they haven't been perfect, and guess what? We've had conversations, and we heal and we become better partners. So I really believe in storytelling, and I want to encourage you not only to go see our work, but the Bellingham Theater Guild, Idiom. There's lots of community theaters who are doing the good work and making us a better community to live in. So thank you very, very much.
And now we are so excited to hear from our very first poem of the evening. This is a poem called On Hope by Henry, and Moonwater will read this for us this evening. Moonwater.
On hope. Hope is the essence of life. It is the means to go on, the means to be strong, the reason to stand up when everything is gone. It says things will get better, that now is not forever, that success means working together for change, for understanding, for acceptance and tolerance. Time and time again, people have been put to the test, but time and time again, they prevail with hope. Congratulations, Henry.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Henry. Now, please direct your attention to the screen as we learn more about Erik McFrazier and his work with Brothers to Brothers.
My name is Erik McFrazier. I am the executive director of Brothers to Brothers, a local nonprofit. Brothers to Brothers is a nonprofit that focuses on the overall well-being of Black men in our community. We have a monthly meeting that's been going on for a few years now. To be able to pull together a group of people that are actually going to talk about some of their deepest feelings, I feel as though is something to be very, very proud about. To be able to affect people's lives in that way, to believe that I'm actually helping people's health outcomes, even if just, a small increment, get better. Some of the big initiatives that we currently have, or one of the things that I'm most passionate about, is our overall health and wellness. Sankofa is an Akan word that means to go back and get. The health and wellness program is for really any Black man in Washington, or anyone who identifies as a Black man in Whatcom County is welcome. We've also been involving ourselves with Western, their Black Student Union there. C-Home has a multicultural group. Some of the other middle schools are starting Black student unions. And so we show up to a lot of these meetings and give that representation, because we know how important representation can be. We're not solitary creatures. Many men feel isolated, and even though they may have a family and kids and all the whole thing, they still feel as though there's not someone that they can speak to.
When connection is broken, it feels like the power is cut.
Black men have some of the worst health outcomes in the country. We've had almost everything taken away from us. Our names, our religions, our language. And so part of the program, part of the trauma healing process, is to actually start to reclaim some of those things. We don't have to pull it out of people. It's almost as though most of these men have been waiting for these doors to be opened up. My future goals are to eventually expand this to be a much larger program, to be able to touch Black men in other parts of the country. The beginning of creating peace and understanding is to be able to start having those conversations, to be able to create that environment where people can have true and real conversations, and not a place where everybody needs to agree, but just where everybody can start to come, be vulnerable, and share understanding. And once you're able to create that foundation, then I think that's where a lot of the beautiful things can happen.
Erik, congratulations.
As you can tell, I'm new to this. So I found out that I was going to have to speak yesterday. So you're lucky that I'm still standing up here. But just quickly, I wanted to thank the Whatcom Dispute Resolution Center, obviously, for this incredible honor. Joel Johnson for nominating me. I don't know, they may tell you, I got the email. I actually thought it was a phishing attempt. So it took me a while to call them back. But this recognition really belongs to the brothers of the group, men who have dared to be vulnerable, to open up, and to build something powerful through the Sankofa Wellness Project. Against the odds, we've created a community where Black men can heal, reconnect, and redefine what strength truly means. I want to thank our sponsors, Peace Health, the Chuck and Health Foundation, the Northcliffe Foundation, and Mount Baker Foundation for believing in this work and helping us make it possible. And special thanks to Eric Russell, who doesn't want to take any congratulations on this, but his partnership, friendship, and heart have made this instrumental in bringing this vision to life. Thanks to my family for always supporting me with all my crazy ideas. Happy birthday to my baby girl, who's turning 20 today. Yes, believe it or not, I have a 20-year-old daughter. I know it's completely, anyway. As we celebrate peace building tonight, I ask each of you to recognize the systems of oppression we knowingly and unknowingly support, and to commit to doing things differently. Because peace isn't passive. Peace is something we build together through healing, through courage, through truth. Ashe. This is mine.
Incredible, Erik. Thank you so much. And now I am very happy to welcome up to the stage our next youth poet, Kate, who will share her poem, If. Please help me welcome her. Oh, go ahead. Great job.
If you spoke truth to power, showed forgiveness to a friend, if you believed in justice and shared it pridefully, thank you for bringing love to this world. If you built bridges where walls once stood, showed kindness to the people around you, if you led the way to freedom of all people, thank you for bringing justice to this world. If you had a voice of calm and grace, planted seeds of wisdom and verity, if you kept memories and showed remembrance, thank you for bringing hope to this world. If you kept moving forward in hard times, moving towards your goal, if you got pulled down and stood up once more, thank you for bringing courage to this world. If you showed respect and love to the people around you and influenced them to do the same, if you had tranquility and sereneness, thank you for bringing peace to this world.
Congratulations. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, please join me and bring your attention to the screens as you continue to enjoy your dinner and we learn more about our next award recipient, the Bellingham Public Library.
I'm Rebecca Judd. I'm the library director at the Bellingham Public Library, and I've been the library director for 7 years. The public library serves as a place of connection and belonging and learning, and all of those are important to our community. One of the things that I'm really proud of working in Bellingham is the importance people place on their public library. Last year, we checked out over 1.8 million items from the Central Library, and we welcomed almost 500,000 visitors. The public library is one of the only free, open, indoor spaces that's welcoming to all. And whether you have $1 million or whether you don't have, a penny in your pocket, you are welcome at the public library. And there's something very special about that. We've really seen the reliance and in some ways the over-reliance on the public library to fill really critical social needs and social gaps. And we certainly see a lot of people who come into the library who need just the very basic shelter needs. We do a lot of equity work in terms of adding bilingual story times. We've went through a lot of learning and process around developing our land acknowledgement. We put together community voices kits so that we are able to elevate different voices in our community. So making sure we have a diverse collection, making sure that people both see themselves in the stories that we read and the collections that we have, but also feel welcome every single time that they walk into our space. For me, peace building means sharing our story. And the public library is literally a place that is full of stories, both written stories, of course, but also the community stories that take place every day in our space. And that could be new parents who are meeting at baby story time and are able to make this connection during such an intense period of their lives. It could be a child getting their first library card in the children's room. It could be a person who has just landed that next best job that they needed using the library's computers. It could be neighbors that are meeting at the public library. And it could be that warm and welcoming hello to somebody who may not be receiving a warm and welcoming hello in any other place in their lives. All of those stories are contribute to a better community, contribute to peace, and contribute to the story of Bellingham that we continue to create.
Congratulations, Bellingham Public Library.
Well, good evening. I am just so deeply honored to accept the Peace Builder Award for public service on behalf of the incredible staff at the Bellingham Public Library. And thank you to Moonwater and to all our friends at the Whatcom Dispute Resolution Center for such a meaningful recognition and really for all the work you do to foster learning and conversation and understanding and healing in our community. Receiving this award is truly affirming. It honors work that happens steadily and without fanfare in service to the public good. For us, peace building means creating spaces where people can feel safe, respected, and connected. It means offering resources without judgment, listening without assumption, and showing up with empathy, consistency, and joy. We really mean it when we say, you belong at your library. Our team, alongside our community, have faced unprecedented challenges. I can't believe I got this far without my glasses. From a global pandemic to complex issues like addiction and homelessness, and even as Moonwater was saying, the evolving ways people live, learn, and connect. These realities shape our daily work, supporting families and students, helping people access technology, and welcoming neighbors seeking warmth, safety, learning, or simply a place to belong. We are proud to be that kind of place, a place that is open to all, where people can learn and be together and find support. And we also see the gaps where our services and spaces aren't enough for the most vulnerable community members we serve. That reminds us that peace building isn't just what we provide inside our library walls. It's about working together as a community to create more access, understanding, and opportunity. Because when we come together, healing and hope follow. Okay, I want to take just a moment to thank our library staff that are here today and our trustees, and we have the Friends of the Library, and we have a bunch of city partners. If you are one of those folks, could you raise your hand really quick? Thank you. We are so appreciate your dedication. And thank you to our community partners. We have Monica Collar here tonight, Connecting Community, and all our friends at the health department. We see all the time. We love those guys. Thank you for walking beside us as we do this work. And to the community we serve, thank you for trusting us. Every story, every act of kindness, and every moment of connection remembers why this work matters. As we look ahead, we remain committed to being a place for learning and listening and for building the kind of peace that lasts, the kind that grows from mutual respect, shared understanding, and a belief in one another's dignity. So on behalf of the entire library team, thank you again for this honor. We are proud to serve and to keep working together for a more compassionate and just Whatcom County. Thank you.
And now our next youth poetry winner, Teddy, will share their poem, Quiet. Please help me welcome Teddy.
Hey, there you go. Quiet, the sound of peace. The dream of peace is the thing that binds us together. Friendship is the medicine to the world, and hate is the virus. I hope in the future everyone walks hand in hand, celebrating our differences, smiling in peace.
Great job, Teddy. Thank you. Awesome job, Teddy. Thank you. So please bring your attention to the screens as we learn about our next awardee, Selene Etheredge, and her work with trans survival.
My name is Selene Lee Etheredge. I chose that name for myself, and I currently work with trans survival. Trans Survival is a grassroots organization. It's based out of Bellingham. However, its reach is now creeping across Washington. It fundamentally is a community organization that focuses on advocacy. And at an individual level, we empower people to systematically fight for change. In order to talk about how my work started, I have to give a little bit of context for what was going on in my life. I grew up closeted in Atlanta, Georgia, moved to Colorado when I was 19. And during that time, I started to come a little bit out of the closet, and it led to a very intense hate crime. The only thing I could really figure out how to help myself was to move to a new place, just to start new, to focus on the future. And when I first moved to Bellingham, that's exactly what I did. It was a paradise. That got taken away from me when a high school student was assaulted for being trans, and it was so similar to what I experienced. I thought, what can I do? The only thing that actually gave me hope, that made me think I can do something, was seeing something on the news. I saw that Worcester, Massachusetts made itself a transgender sanctuary city with 200 people. This was the fundamental purpose of trans survival. Collaborating a group of intentional people towards using public comment for a longer than 3-minute speech, using multiple speakers to deliver one cohesive narrative. Peace is not a state of being that just happens. It's work. when I am able to say that something is wrong and express that it's not this person's fault, but that we can change it together, that's peace. Collaborating with people who misunderstand me and reaching a mutual education of each other, that's peace. A future where we stand together, knowing our differences and accepting them, that's peace. The structure of trans survival, how we have been able to advocate while remaining respectful and relentless, that is what peace is. This structure, this example, this is how we can work together as humans to a more peaceful future. It is showing up every single day for yourself and for the people around you, especially for the people that I don't understand, and especially when they don't understand me.
Goosebumps. Selene, congratulations.
First and foremost, it is such an honor and a privilege, a gift to be here with so many inspiring and loving people. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. Firstly, I want to thank Christiana Woodcock for nominating me for this award. I wish to thank the queer community of Bellingham, especially my friends and allies who time and time again showed up for me and themselves. We keep us safe, and we are keeping us safer than ever. Your words and deeds speak to the love that we all keep. Exceedingly, our greatest weapon is our compassion, and our greatest ally is each other. In 30 seconds, I hope to tell you a story, one you may have heard, about an old man who likes to take his walks on the beach, when one day he spots a young boy tossing starfish into the water. Says, "What are you doing?" "Well, the tide came in and left, and now all of these starfish are left here to die. So I'm picking them up and putting them in the water." The old man says, "Can't you see how many thousands of millions are on this beach? What do you hope to do? You can't save this whole group of starfish." And he reaches down, throws it. "I saved that one." And the old man bends over and he starts picking them up too. It's not the measure of kindness that we give to this world, but the act itself that is important. Each of us is here for different reasons, yet what is fiercely common in us all is love. As Wade Phillips once said, "The only things we keep permanently are those that we give away. So give all you can and ask for what you need. And in the end, we will all be keepers of kindness." In a world that is built off of greed and judgment, loving kindness is the most radical act we can undertake. And in a country that is dominated by corporate greed that profits from division, connection will remain our liberation. Keep going, keep listening, and above all, keep loving. Thank you very much.
Why did you make me do this? I'm too emotional for this. I'm getting in my feels. This is such an inspiring evening so far. I'm having such a good time. Are you having a good time? Okay. Amazing, amazing. And now we will hear from our next youth poet, Lucy, as they read We March On. Come on up, Lucy.
Yeah. Free. I feel free. Together we stand, hand in hand. Our voices blend as one. We no longer have to run. Free. I feel free. We open up our hearts. We dare to make our own start. But as we march, a darkness comes, swallowing up whom those we love. Screaming, shouting, yelling, crying, alone, lost in all our longing. But somehow, together, we find the light and we march on.
Thank you, Lucy. And now, this is our last video before the intermission. Please direct your attention to the videos as we learn about the way station.
My name is Chris Copedish. I'm with Unity Care Northwest, and we are a federally qualified community health center that serves Whatcom County. It was around 2018, following the release of the Homeless Strategies Work Group findings, that we started to talk with Whatcom County and Peace Health and the OS Opportunity Council about a collaborative project like this. The Way Station provides families and individuals with access to health and hygiene services, to a respite program where people can recuperate from a medical event, and other complementary programs that are operated by Whatcom County's Health and Human Services Department. All of these programs are under one roof and easy for accessing. For the unhoused populations, they can go to one location to receive a variety of services. It's basically a resting stop on a journey. That's what the term way station means. And for us, it's a stop on the journey to being housed and to getting health care and healthy. It has been a true collaboration from the beginning with all the partners. Around 54% of the people who have come in for just showers are now getting medical care. About 20% right now are now getting behavioral health services, and we are also moving people to get substance use disorder treatment. So it's working. The vision for us was that we would provide a needed service, the hygiene. Now that they come in for those services, we know that helps them on their healthcare journey and the journey to be housed, that we can get them in and get them in deeper care. We anticipated we would serve 750 unique individuals with hygiene services in the first year of operation. In the first 8 months, we're at close to 1,100. We anticipate we might double that in the first year. My hope for Whatcom County is that we build a community where people don't fall through the cracks, that we have preventative measures in place to help them before we get to the situation where there's so many people that have so much unmet need. Peace building often means aligning different organizations around a shared purpose, even when we have competing priorities. The Way Station also offers peace to the people that we're serving by providing a stabilizing place where they can get the services that they desperately need and work within the existing systems to get them care and move them along to a healthier future. The Way Station is a model for what happens when we slow down and listen to what the community needs and what agencies are able to do together. I believe it could be a model for future projects and a way for us to address other needs of the most vulnerable among us.
Congratulations, the Way Station. Come on up. Woohoo!
Wow, thank you. You guys are going to come over here. This is a true collaboration, and we thank all of you and the collaboration here to support all the wonderful work that we're doing across the community. I can tell you that if we probably got every single person that played a role in this, it would fill this room. I mean, dozens of people from Peace Health who gave the seed money to start the project. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to raise $4 million from Washington State. Senator Sharon Shoemaker couldn't make it. She was going to be here, but she championed that. Representative Rick Larson and Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell helped with another $2 million. Lots of foundations and private gifts helped build it. And then we have, the county who gave the location. We went to the county and said, hey, we've got this idea. You have a building, can we use it? And the county exec said yes. And that was right before the pandemic, and then we got shut down for a couple years. But we kept at it, met like every 2 weeks for 4 years. And kept plugging away. And then we opened, and Don, I want to acknowledge kind of some people from Unity Care. I mean, there's so many people to acknowledge, but they're here. Don Cook, raise your hand. Hey, Don. He's our way station manager. He's there Monday through Friday, providing services to so many people. And then Marissa McGrath right there. She's with Unity Care. Yay, Marissa. But she helped basically convince a lot of elected officials and that we were worth supporting and help with our messaging, because these are tricky issues to message to the community. And there's Tamara Trigoning, and she's our development officer, and she helped raise millions too. So and then these two, and we don't have somebody from the Opportunity Council here, and we should, Greg Winter and his team. We're all there, and they continue to serve people. And, I was just thinking that we got this done, took a while through collaboration, but the need's still there. We've got so much that we're going to have to address over the coming years. I kind of am a little taken aback by that, but I think together we can certainly do it.
I just want to say on behalf of Whatcom County and Health and Community Services how honored we are to be a part of this project. And it just highlights the collaboration that this community does every day, and it's exceptional. And I also just want to thank all of you for joining us in the commitment to making sure that we are addressing the root causes of homelessness and extreme poverty. Because as much as I am so proud of this project, I know we all dream of a time where we don't need the way station. So thank you for continuing that and being a part of that.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, are you ready to keep going and see our next award winner? So please bring your attention and your mouths full of sugary goodness to the screens as we learn about the Bellingham Holi Festival. Yeah.
My name is Sachin Pai. I'm with Second Mountain Productions. It's an organization that just started this year. So the first thing I did with Second Mountain Productions is through a Holi festival. Holi is an Indian holiday. It's about the arrival of spring, but also like crops and joy and laughter. So people have these really brightly colored powders, this cornstarch, and they just take it and they just throw it at each other, throw it in the air, and it just creates a really beautiful, vibrant scene. That was really the intent of what I wanted to do with the Holi Festival here in Bellingham. Just a celebration of community, getting people together, and just festivity and happiness. The first event I did was my backyard. It was like 10 people. And then I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. Let's do it at Carlo Park, which is across the street from me. And we had about 70 people. And this year, I'm like, oh, I want to really blow it out and make it a bigger event. So I got a generous grant from the Whatcom Community Foundation. I got some sponsors and got a decent amount of money. I'm like, yeah, we can make this a lot bigger. So we rented at Boulevard Park. It was open to the community. We had about 400 people show up. I also had a DJ there playing Indian music, and we had traditional dole drummers, which is like this big, loud, awesome drum. We had 4 of those drummers playing the entire time. So it was dancing, it was laughter, it was excitement, joy. I primarily did it for my kids. 3 kids, aged 12, 7, 5. They are the only brown kids or Indian kids in their school. So it was really important for me to just not expose them, but to make them feel seen and be able to share their culture with their friends and their peers in their community. It really brings people together, breaks down barriers. It wasn't only Indian people there, it was like everyone was there, and just having all these people come connect. That's pretty awesome. I really believe just bringing people together builds peace. So like any opportunity, any way to create a chance for people to encounter each other. We live in these silos, and just bringing people together and laughing and getting together, not to talk about politics, not to talk about religion, not to talk about anything, or not even talk. Just be there together and have fun. Just having that ability to like connect with people, Holi allows for that kind of connection.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. What an honor to be given this award, especially amongst all these other recipients. I started the Bellingham Holi Festival mostly for my kids, as I mentioned in the video, so they could see their culture out in the world and not just at our home. I wanted them to know they belong here and that their traditions do too. This summer at Boulevard Park, we had kids, grandparents, immigrants, lifelong locals, even the mayor, all laughing and throwing color together. Afterwards, someone told me, I'm pretty introverted, but today I felt connected with people in a way I usually don't. That was the reason I organized this event, to help people feel connected. This award belongs to everyone who made it happen, my family, our volunteers, my co-organizer, Heather Wanless, and our generous sponsors at Whatcom Community Foundation, Paper Whale, and India Mart. It's proof that joy can build peace and that celebrating each other makes us stronger. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And now we would love to hear from Youth Peace Poetry winner Olivia with her piece, Live Your Life. Please help me welcome Olivia.
Enjoy your childhood while it lasts. Never understood what that meant. Live your life, it goes by fast. But wait, can you explain the content of this context? Because I'm quite perplexed with how to take this. With how to live my life to the fullest while I keep getting a full list of chores, deadlines, pressure for good scores, and headlines of problems our generation somehow needs to fix. While we play house, we're taught rising inflation. While we play with stuffed animals, we're taught about their extinction. While we play with Nerf guns and toy swords, we're taught the wars that killed thousands and our childlike innocence along with them. And as we get older, life goes by ×2, our days now consumed by media and news. Head spinning, stress soaring, so insignificant to the planet's global warming, you start to ask, how's your mental health going? I press the snooze button, maybe I'll check in the morning. Stuck in a daze, tired and confused, I start to forget the life we're afraid to lose. I start to forget that I'm able to choose. It may seem like childhood is at its end, but it's all about perspective. If we choose to step out of our head, maybe we can collectively bear the weight of responsibility for making our world one that we dreamt of while we were young. It may seem scary moving on. You might feel wary, but stay strong. As summer welcomes us with open arms and lets us go to face this new world, this new life, this new chance, we must live it. Because what is a life without lessons well learned? What is a life without mischief and sin? What is a life without praise well earned? How do we know how to live until we choose to begin? So when I ask if I've enjoyed it, when you ask if I've lived, I hope one day I stand with pride, admitting that I did.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Olivia. Great job. And now, certainly not least, last but not least, we come to our final Peace Builder awardee of the evening. Please join me in learning more about Sarah Chan and her work with PNW Plateful.
Hi, my name is Sarah Chan. I am the Executive Director of PNW Plateful. PNW Plateful is a nonprofit organization based right here in Bellingham, Washington, and our goal is to fight food insecurity. PNW Plateful actually evolved out of my business, Calypso Kitchen, which is a local catering company. I would say the essence of PNW Plateful really is the way that I was brought up back home in the Caribbean, where my community, my family, take care of each other. I have a strong passion for not having food waste. Very organically, we just used whatever we had left over to create meals that would go out to community members who needed it. And over a couple of years, growing from 50 meals to somewhere between 800 individually packaged meals every week to 1,000 meals. And nourishing is the most important part there for me. Delicious is important too. I want my food to taste good. I want when people eat the meals, they feel like it's a warm hug. But I also really want it to be something that is actually doing something good for their bodies, nourishing their bodies. That's most important to me about these meals going out. What my goal is to really meet people where they are. This is all about dignity. I want people to feel good about what they're receiving. We serve Lummi Food Bank, we serve the Nooksack Food Bank, we serve the Kendall Food Bank. We try to create meals that they can resonate with. I do want people to also be able to try new things as well. So we've had several approaches, but on a weekly basis, we try to make sure that we are providing just new flavor profiles, things that people are accustomed to, things that people would want to receive. To me, building peace starts with meeting people where they are and making sure that their basic needs are met. Through PNW Plateful, we are not just feeding people, we are restoring dignity, creating stability, and reminding folks that they matter. Peace doesn't always look like big gestures. Sometimes it's a warm meal shared with care and consistency. And that's how we're building peace in Whatcom County.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. This is not my favorite place to be. That's okay. So I have everything saved on my phone that I'm going to say, but before I say what I have on my phone, I want to say thank you very much to everybody that got honored here tonight. It feels really good to be in a room full of people who through the little things and big things are making a difference in our community. And also thank you very much to the entire community, because it's every little thing that you do that makes a difference. A message of gratitude and peace from PNW Plateful. We are deeply honored to be recognized by the Whatcom Dispute Resolution Center with the 2025 Peace Builder Health and Wellbeing Award for fostering food security through care, hope, and nutritious meals. This recognition truly belongs to our community, the volunteers, the donors, partners, and supporters who make our mission possible every week. Together, we ensure that hundreds of scratch-made meals, individually packaged, reach to those who need them most, bringing nourishment, dignity, and connection to every table. At PNW Plateful, peace is more than the absence of conflict. It is the presence of compassion. Every meal we prepare and share is an act of love and a promise that no one in our community should go hungry or feel forgotten. To everyone who supports the work of PNW Plateful, whether by donating, volunteering, sharing our story, or simply believing in our mission, thank you. You are part of this ongoing movement towards kindness and connection. As we celebrate this award, we invite our community to continue building peace in small but powerful ways through kindness, generosity, and care for one another. Together, we are nourishing not just bodies, but hearts and hopes. Thank you.
Thanks. And now let's hear from our final Youth Peace Poetry winner of the evening, Nahal, with her piece, Peace Can Be Everything. Peace can be anything. Please help me welcome Nahal. How's that feel?
As I define peace, I see children running around with their friends like there's no other thing stopping them to pursue their lovely dreams. I see everyone getting along, talking, and like there's an endless word and everything can get better like a click. It's not always like that, I will say. There are still wars and fights going around, as in people say togetherness doesn't stay. But even though we can't change that, there are still other ways we can provide law and order to people in our neighborhood. Peace is supposed to be a community that brings us together, where we can be inspired. Peace is supposed to be friendly. When every turn we take, we see a glowing people saying, "Hi, I'm safe." Peace is not supposed to be violent, where there are things people don't want to see. Peace is not supposed to be making lives hurt and dark, where there is no hope and start living in the fire. Peace can be a place like a country making their home an honorable place. Peace can be a place like a small community being with people you are. Peace can be a place like a school full of courage and color. It can be anything, peace. The only thing you have to do is dream it and make it a reality.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Lovely job.
Can we please have one more huge round of applause for all of our youth poets? Thank you all for your words and your bravery standing up here tonight. You each did an amazing job. And Moonwater, we would love to hear from you.
Thank you, Sarah. And one more round of applause for all of our award recipients as well. So as we have seen tonight, there is remarkable work taking place in our community. And after more than 2 decades, I think I've shared this before, but the number is stuck in my head, frankly, of presenting these awards, it still feels fresh and new and powerful and incredible to me personally. And it's just amazing year after year to learn about the wonderful work that's happening all throughout our community. We encourage you to continue learning about folks that you've heard about tonight for the first time and support them and their work, and to find ways that you can lean into your own peace building as well. It's my pleasure in this moment, as we've been looking outward and finding people and places all throughout Whatcom County that are building peace, I want to take a moment to invite you all inward and to share with you a little bit more and more intimately about the role and impact of the Dispute Resolution Center here in our community. And at the DRC, we see firsthand the scope and intensity of conflict that impacts our neighbors, friends, families, coworkers on a daily basis. People turn to us with all types of challenges, from profoundly deep interpersonal conflict to complicated business disputes, from private disagreements to well-known public discord. Time and time again, we discover that these same people have a deep desire to be heard and understood, and to find resolution, justice, and healing in order to move forward peacefully. And each inquiry that we receive is from someone reaching out for assistance. And I can attest firsthand that it's remarkable what can be accomplished when you provide a listening ear and the opportunity to forge a path forward through a difficult situation. And I know that our staff and our mediators hold such care for every single person who contacts us. And in providing confidential and impartial services, we're creating spaces for people to connect with us in a moment of great need, with the confidence that we will honor them with dignity and respect. And so we'd like to share an example with you this evening of the way in which we've been able to help. And so it's really, truly my honor to invite one of our mediators up to the stage, Kate McLean. She mediates family cases with us, and she's going to share a story with you. And there she is. All right, Kate, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, my name is Kate, and I'm a mediator at the center in the family program, and I've been mediating cases since about 2016. And I've had the opportunity to see all kinds of people coming into our center, from people who have just separated and are working to develop a parenting plan, to exits who need to revise a parenting plan after many years, to parents and teens navigating the challenges of adolescence, and adult children sorting through how to care for aging parents. With overlays of domestic violence, communication breakdowns, and fear of conflict, each family brings their own complexity and struggles. One of the things that strikes me is how varied the constellations and configurations of families are, and how creative people can be in working to make their families whole when there's been a fracture. It's an honor to hear the stories firsthand and to be able to assist them in talking together. I want to share a case with you, and while we always ask for permission to share stories, I've also changed some identifying details to protect their confidentiality. The case I want to share tonight concerns two grandparents who came into our center for help with their granddaughter. They had adopted her when she was 8 months old. At the time, the child's mother was struggling with addiction and had relinquished her parental rights. They had been raising her as their own child for the last 13 years. During that time, this couple had divorced, but was still able to successfully co-parent their granddaughter. They had a history of good and strong communication and a deep love for her. As their granddaughter was growing, her mother, their daughter, continued to struggle with addiction. There were missed visits and long lapses in contact. But more recently, the mom was able to get into rehab and she was clean. She had also remarried, building a blended family of 6 children. So the granddaughter had not seen much of her mom over her life, but in the past several months, things had started to change. Her mom wanted her back, and as much as she loved her grandparents, she was also excited about being with her mom and getting to know her half-siblings. She had been spending a lot of time at the house with this new family, and she was having fun. When she was there, it was usually on the weekends, so it was cookouts and movies, etc. The daughter was extremely enthusiastic about integrating into her mom's new blended family and was insistent about moving in more permanently. She was very eager for this to happen, and it seemed that she was a bit of a force. It wasn't quite this simple, though. The grandparents had decision-making power, and they were at an impasse themselves. They were in direct conflict about how to support their granddaughter to develop a healthy relationship with her mom. They both thought the mom's house was small, crowded, and chaotic. Some of the older siblings were engaged in risky behavior that they thought might impact their granddaughter. Even so, the grandfather wanted to support whatever his granddaughter wanted and argued for letting her spend unlimited time with mom. The grandmother, though, thought they should move more slowly and was refusing more frequent visits. This disagreement was a strain on all of them, as the longer their conflict persisted, the more intense it became, and the less time mom and daughter could spend together. So they reached out to us at the WDRC for help with this seemingly intractable situation. As the session got underway, the tension was palpable. The grandparents were very much at odds and had taken a real toll on their own communication and well-being. As a mediator, we are, of course, impartial. But when children are involved, our priority is the health and well-being of those children. So I first began to ask questions about their daughter, the potential new caregiver of this child. They both acknowledged that they saw real growth in her and that her life was stressful and busy. They were worried about the potential for relapse and were not sure how much room there was for their granddaughter in the new life that mom was building for herself. At that point, I began to ask more about their granddaughter and how she was doing. They both felt concerned as I asked what kinds of behaviors they had noticed, whether they were new, when they began. I could see them begin to look at each other and to slow down a bit. As they were sharing their concerns, they seemed to be realizing that some of the behavior was more serious than they had first thought, and they started to look more like a team. They started talking with each other instead of at each other. They started to realize that they needed more help and resources than they currently had. And they both began to share the idea that building a new and healthy relationship between mother and daughter would take some special supports. As they talked over the 3 hours that we spent together, they decided to seek out counseling for their granddaughter. Their written agreement detailed the types of behaviors they were concerned about and where they might seek out more support, such as school counselors, primary care doctors, and their own therapists. They decided to do their own research and share it with each other in an agreed-upon timeline. They both very much wanted their granddaughter and daughter to spend time together and wanted to continue what the two had started to build over the last few months. So they agreed to a schedule of visitation with some requirements around supervision, especially with the older siblings. They also agreed to encourage their daughter to make space for one-on-one time with her own daughter. The last part of their agreement was about how they would talk with their granddaughter about what they had discussed and agreed to in mediation. They knew that coming to their own agreements about building a relationship was critical before communicating it to their granddaughter. And when the time came, they would present the plan to their granddaughter in a loving, supported, and united way. The agreement included sharing how much they loved her, how much they wanted her to have a close and healthy relationship with her mother, and that they would support her in doing that. They left with specific tools and shared understanding and with new hope for their entire family. This is just one powerful story, illustrating how unique the families we work with and the conflicts they navigate truly are. Even if a situation feels impossible to overcome at first, this family's experience exemplifies the creative solutions available to people who sit down at the mediation table together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kate. Kate is one of our volunteer mediators, and there are many others. And so I just want to say a heartfelt thanks to everyone who's volunteering with the center and stepping into the space to become trained as a mediator, and then showing up to hold these spaces for your friends and neighbors and family members. So we appreciate you. This is meaningful work, and it does matter. And I want to talk with you a little bit more about the center. I want you to know that if we weren't here, that there's 74 kids that wouldn't have been able to see their parent this year. That nearly 500 of your neighbors would likely have gone to court, slowing our justice system and eliminating the ability to sit down and creatively problem solve together. Without the DRC's help, nearly 250 parents wouldn't have had the opportunity to sit down just since January with the help of a mediator, center their child's needs, and discuss how they want to navigate separation. And just in this past year so far, if we hadn't been here, over 600 community members facing eviction or other aspects of housing instability wouldn't have had a listening ear to help them explore their options. And 1,346 students in all 7 school districts wouldn't have had the opportunity to participate in essential life skills training that we offered at no cost to their schools. I feel pretty strongly about what we do at the center. And I'm wondering, in this room, in this moment, I have a feeling that many of you have either experienced yourself or know someone who has connected with us at the center. Perhaps it's through a training you took with us, or mediation or group facilitation or some conflict coaching or supervised visitation, or maybe your student participated or your child participated in one of our workshops. I'm wondering, would you be willing for a moment to raise your hand if you yourself or if you know someone who's connected with the DRC in some form or fashion? It's pretty fantastic. Thank you. And there's even more people that we want to connect with. And so with your help, we can continue weaving this tapestry of peace, right? Ensuring that our entire community has access to supportive, accessible processes for resolving conflict and building skills. So we are going to offer to you this evening just one more opportunity. You've been incredibly generous with us, but one more opportunity to contribute to our mission. And I think Sarah's going to help me with that. Thanks, Sarah.
That was incredible to see so many hands go up around the room. You know, when I'm not volunteering with the DRC, I'm a mental health therapist in town. I'm a marriage and family therapist, so I see conflict. And every day I have the privilege of sitting with clients that are navigating the most difficult emotions, the most difficult situations you can imagine. But early in my career, I realized that achieving true mental health, it's not an individual task. It involves our systems, it involves our society, it involves our community. Healthy conflict resolution is the cornerstone of individual, family, and community mental health. And especially in these very divided times, conflict resolution is so important. And I know each of you are here because you agree with that. At the WDRC, we teach peace and we help others reach peace. And it's because of this, I joyfully support this organization as a volunteer and as a monthly donor. And I have seen firsthand how this organization has impacted my clients' lives. Now more than ever, individual giving is so critical to our well-being. With funding constrictions at the federal, state, and local level, the support of everybody in this room, local support, is more impactful and actually essential to our future. With the majority of the people WDRC serves coming from low-income households, our dedication to never turn an individual away for financial reasons means we must rely on the community, our community, this community, to help ensure the accessibility of our services to everybody. You can see on the slide some of the ways your contributions support our programs at each different levels. Now, we have a goal tonight of raising $100,000. And that goal is not outlandish. We actually think that is very well within reach. With your help, we know we can achieve this tonight. And in honor of Moonwater's 20th anniversary in this role, she started before I was even born. Oh my God. Why are you laughing at that? We set out this year to engage 20 new monthly donors. That means our partners in peace. That means a monthly recurring donation that you don't even have to think about. I do that, and it makes giving so joyful and easy for me. We only need 5 more people to sign up to reach this goal. So I'm wondering if those 5 people would be in this room tonight to help us. That would be so amazing. Let me offer my gratitude in advance for your participation and your support. We are so thankful to be in community with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you, everyone. I know you have been so incredibly generous with us, and I just can't underscore enough that in this particular moment in my time, and I know Sarah spoke to this as our board member, I'm speaking to you as a member of your community, as the executive director. I've been in this role for 20 years. I intend to stick with it. I love this organization. I love the work of it. It's important and it's meaningful. And we need each of you, and together we can continue to build peace. So there is something for everyone on those pledge cards. To stay curious, to connect with someone, to give a resource if you're able to. There's multiple ways for you to lean into peace building work, as you've seen, and it's been illustrated through our incredible award winners tonight. So find something that works for you. Stay with us in some form or shape or another, because we can do this together. Thank you. And a giant thank you, everyone, to our presenting sponsor again tonight, People's Bank. Thank you so much for your continued support and your leadership here in our community. We appreciate you. And a thank you to all of our sponsors, underwriters, and event supporters, to every single one of you for choosing to be with us on this Friday evening, to the WDRC board, staff, and our volunteers that made this event possible, and all of our community peace builders and youth poets. I hope someone saved me a bite of dessert. Thank you. Continue doing the good work that you're doing, my friends. We have a beautiful, beautiful community, and you are a part of it. And thank you for that. We'll see you here next year. Enjoy the evening.